Hello everybody, and welcome back to Certifact Collectibles. This is another episode of First Appearance of the Week. This is Wednesday, November 8th, 2023. We'll be giving you all the first appearance in your comic shops today. Now this week we have a pretty good lineup for you guys. I think we have 4 first appearances, 5 honorable mentions, so 9 titles on all to go through. Definitely some books in there worth picking up for your collection. So let's go ahead and get started for the first appearance of the week, beginning November 10th, 2023. First up from DC Comics, Poison Ivy number 16. This features the first appearance of Chuck, an ordinary family man who is to discover a higher calling in life. Now, like we always mention with these DC comics, it really depends on what DC does with these characters they're introducing in the comics as to how important they're going to be in the future. If they bring these characters across other storylines, other story arcs, bring them into more mainstay title series, then these characters may have a little bit more staying power, may become a little bit more relevant in the future, may become popular with fans and become fan favorites, and become characters people want to chase back and find the first appearance of in the comics. Now, if DC really doesn't do anything with these characters, and they just introduce them in these particular stories or these particular title series and they go nowhere, then of course they're not going to be all that important in the future. All that being said, this is the first appearance of this Chuck character in this Poison Ivy title series. Now, Poison Ivy is a B-series or subset series for DC Comics. This is not one of their mainstay title series, such as Detective Comics or Action Comics or Batman or Superman. So introducing a character in this particular subset title series, once again, DC has to do something spectacular with this character to make this character important, resonate with fans, and make fans want to actually go back and find the first appearance. So this one here, we do think you probably have a little bit of time on this one. Keep an eye on this one here, but you can put this on your B-list for now. Next up from Marvel Comics, Gods number 2. This features the first appearance of Mia the Magic Girl, a young sorcerer struggling to achieve her full potential. Now, unlike the DC Comics, for Marvel Comics, we do typically recommend picking up the first appearance of new characters in Marvel titles. You know, Marvel Disney is still churning out a ton of media, and they have a huge budget. They are producing a lot of TV shows, streaming series, and feature films, and you really don't know where any of these characters they're introducing in the comics may end up. So this is why we typically recommend picking up all the first appearance in Marvel titles. You know, if they hit the screen, people become familiar with them, they become favorites, people do race back to the comics and try to find these first appearances. So you don't want to miss out, you know, for the cover price, these are typically worth picking up. So this particular title here does feature Mia the Magic Girl, and like I said, you really don't know what Disney and Marvel have planned for this character, so it's probably worth picking up, you know, for a spec at the least. So go ahead and grab this one here for your collection for a spec bet if you can, otherwise put in your B-list and take a look at it later on. Next up from Marvel Comics, Punisher number 1. This features the first appearance of Joe Garrison, the new Punisher, a retired S.H.I.E.L.D. Black Ops agent. Now this is one we do think you should definitely pick up and add to your collection. This is not only the premiere issue of the new Punisher title, but this features the first appearance of a whole new Punisher, Joe Garrison. This one here is a definite pickup. You know, Punisher is a fan favorite character, and the fact that they're introducing a new person to play Punisher, this one here is one you definitely want to add to your collection. Go ahead and grab this one. And finally from Marvel Comics, Thanos number 1. This features the first team appearance of a new Illuminati. You know, the Illuminati were a big deal a few years ago. People were specking on that particular team. There was a lot of buzz in Hollywood and in the comics industry about the Illuminati, but that buzz has died down. You really don't know what Disney has planned. You know, if Disney Marvel bring the Illuminati into any of these TV shows, streaming series, or feature films, you know, that may bring a lot more eyes to this particular team up and make this team more relevant. This here is a new Illuminati, so we really don't know if Marvel or Disney were to bring the Illuminati into a streaming series, TV show, or feature film, if it would be this new iteration or the previous one. So this here is going to be a little bit more speculative, but like we always say, you know, for the cover price, it's not worth missing out on these for $3 or $4. If these do blow up, become big, you know, you're sitting on a winner. If not, you're out $3 or $4. In our opinion, you know, the risk is worth the reward on these. Grab this one here for a spec if you can. If not, though, put on your B-list and take a look at it later on. And now for the honorable mentions. From Black Box Comics, Empath number 1. An estranged son from a wealthy family finds his place in a chaotic city, helping others with an uncanny empathic ability to change things for the better. Now this one here we put on the list because it sounds like it can lend itself very well to a TV show, streaming series, or feature film. You know, Black Box Comics has not had a lot of their titles picked up and optioned in the past. You know, there isn't a lot of buzz on this particular publishing house. This is definitely a small press publisher. But it's for that reason that we actually put this on the list, because it does sound like it can translate very well to the screen, and since it is such a small press publisher, there's not going to be a lot of retailers carry this particular title, and there's not going to be a lot of them out there in the future. So if this here actually gets picked up and optioned and goes somewhere, there's not going to be a lot of them out there. You're going to be sitting on a huge winner here. That's definitely going to be a big price driver in the future for this book. That is, if it gets optioned and picked up and get a lot more eyes on this particular title. So this is definitely going to be a little more speculative, but like I said, there's not going to be a lot of them out there in the future. So this one here is a great spec bet in our opinion. Grab this one here for a spec if you can. Otherwise, put in your B-list and take a look at it later on. Next up from Scout Comics, Mitch #1. A story about one furry guy on a quest to find his true origins, unintentionally stumbling into adventure, mystery, and a secret ongoing extraterrestrial conflict over Earth and its unsuspecting occupants. Now this one here is on the list because this is a Scout title, and Scout has had a lot of attention on their titles. They've had a lot of their titles picked up in option for small screen and big screen projects. Now this particular title does sound like it'll lend itself better to an animated series, but you know, animated series still get a lot of attention on these characters and bring a lot more eyes to these characters and do make them favorites. So if this does get picked up for an animated series or a TV show, feature film, or streaming series, once again, small press and indie publishers, if these get picked up in option, that's a huge price driver, so you don't want to miss out. So once again, will be speculative, but probably worth a spec in our opinion. Grab this one here if you can. Otherwise, put it on your B-list and take a look at it later on. Next up from Image Comics, Petrolhead #1. In a climate crisis-ravaged future metropolis, an old grumpy, obsolete, smoke-belching, cigar-chomping, hot rod racing robot is one 12-year-old girl's only hope to save humanity. Now this one here sounds like it lends itself very well to a small screen, big screen project, and Image Comics has had a lot of their titles picked up in option in the past. Once again, this one sounds like it can lend itself better to maybe an animated series, but you know, it does kind of have a Transformers vibe to it, so it still could be live action. But once again, if this hits the screen in a TV show, streaming series, or feature film, people will race back to the comics to find this first appearance and find this premiere issue. So this one here, once again, we think this is a great spec in our opinion. Grab it if you can, otherwise put it in your B-list and take a look at it later on. Next up from DC Comics, All-Star Comics #3 Facsimile. Now this is a facsimile reprint of All-Star Comics #3, the first team appearance and origin of the Justice Society of America. Like we always mention with these facsimile reprints, these books are great to have in your collection. They always sell out. There's a huge aftermarket for these. People do collect these facsimile reprints. You know, these don't only reprint the story and the art, but all the original ads. These are like you're going back in time, picking these books off the shelf decades ago. These are always worth picking up for the cover price in our opinion. Like I said, huge secondary market on these. So this is one we do think you should pick up for your collection. Go ahead and grab this one. And finally from DC Comics, Wonder Woman #1 Facsimile. This is a facsimile reprint of Wonder Woman #1, The Origin of Wonder Woman. Now, like we just mentioned a moment ago, these facsimile reprints, these are books you definitely want to have in your collection. These are just like the book came out decades ago, but you're getting it today. All the original story, art, and ads, just like when it first came out. There's a huge collector base for these, huge activity in the secondary market, so always worth picking up these facsimile reprints of major keys. So go ahead and grab this one here for your collection. So there you have the 9 titles that we have for you guys this week. Definitely some books in there worth picking up for your collection. So please feel free to drop some comments in the comment section below. Thumbs up if you like this video. And as always, please remember to subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thank you for joining us here at Certified Collectibles, and we'll see you again next time.